Hello students, welcome back to Tuition Masters, and today we are here with doing the sample paper discussion of grade 10 CBSE term 2, and we are going to discuss social science sample paper today. So before going, let's understand about the sample paper, the what is the pattern. So here we have five sections A, B, C, D, E. So in the first section A, there are very short answer questions and it is of 2 marks each. Section B are short answers with 3 marks each. Then section C, which have a long answer, two long answers, which are again 5 marks each, and 11 and 12. These two questions are case based question where you have a case and then we have to answer the questions. And the last section in section E, it is question number 13 and it is map based questions. Alright, so today we are going to discuss all of this: history, geography, civics, economics, everything included. So let's start with our section A of very short answer, 5 questions of 2 markers each. So, our first question is: how did the non cooperation movement unfold the cities and towns of India? Now, this is a question of what? Nationalism in India. We have to explain over here that how did non cooperation movement unfold or reveal the different participation of the cities as well as the towns in India, urban and rural places. Now, how do we write this answer? So it's of 2 marks, remember. So the movement, it started with the middle class participation in the cities. Now from the cities, from the urban area, the middle class, or like the middle class people had started to put their interest and participation in the movement. After that, students, many students had left the colleges and school. They stopped studying, left their colleges, school. After that, even the teachers had resigned their job. They had stopped teaching. They didn't continue to teach in the schools. After that, lawyers gave up their legal practices. Lawyers, even judges, even advocates, correct, advocates, all of them had left their jobs, and they also stopped doing the legal practices like handling the various act or any cases there. All this is, they stopped that. After that, the council elections which were being held, that were boycotted, means that were stopped, that were like they said that no, we are not going to do any council elections except Madras. Except Madras, everywhere the council elections were boycotted. And at the end, the foreign goods as well as the foreign clothes were burnt in where? In huge bonfires. On the middle of the streets, the people used to burn all the foreign goods and foreign clothings in the bonfire. Even the liquor shops were picketed. So, this is our first answer. Second, why is tourism considered as a trade? Now, just understand the question. What are they trying to tell? Tourism. When I talk about tourism, why is it considered as a trade? Why is it a source of income? Right? So, what is our answer? Arrival of foreign tourists in the country contributes to foreign exchange. Now, when I talk about when foreign people are like, take suppose in India, correct? In India, this is our India. Now, from take suppose UK, a person is coming to India for tourist. Correct. Now, for tourist purpose, the person is coming. Now, there will be some foreign exchange for it. Correct. There will be foreign exchange when a person is coming from UK to India, so it contributes and increases the foreign exchange. After that, India gets tourists for ecotourism, culture tourism, sightseeing, and medical tourism. Very important. You can even expect this in your objectives. In India, why? What is the main things of tourism? Ecotourism, culture tourism, sightseeing, and medical tourism. These are the four kinds of tourism in which India is famous of. Even Tourism even provides a support to the local handicrafts and handlooms. Now you might have seen many times like UK, London, when the people come to India, they do where they are like when they see like handmade mud pots, like right here, like pots, handmade pots they see, or cotton clothes they see, hand woven clothes, cotton clothes they see. So what happened? They feel that okay, let's buy, because in our country we don't get it. So when tourists come from various countries, they don't have such things, local handicrafts and handlooms in their place, so they take it. So this will support the local handicrafts also. Even not only it's important about international tourism, but even domestic tourism is also important, like from one state to another state, because they also participate in trade activities like shopping. Now take suppose shopping, or take suppose food item. If you go in the north side, okay, and if you come from north, you're coming to south, will you get the same food in south also as you get in north? No, there is food variation. There are new things as well which are present, right? So within a country also, domestic tourism is also supporting in trade activities. So this is our second answer. Third question. Differentiate between one party and two party system. So again, always remember, whenever you have differentiation question, first thing is make a table. Very important. You have to make a table. After that, with respect to how much marks it is of, you will write those points. If it is of 5 marks, write 5 points. If it is of 3 marks, write 3 points. And here it is of, this is again a 2 marker question. So here we have written 2 points. Right. So let's understand the first thing. First is like a simple definition example. That's it, because it's of 2 marks. So one party system. What do we mean by one party system? The countries where only one party is allowed to control and run the government is called a one party system. Very simple, clear definition. What is one party system? Here you don't need to explain. Just write a small definition. That's it. This definition, this 1 mark you have got. Now see this. When I say one party system means that one party system, the name itself says you. So in the countries where one party system is followed, there only a single political party is allowed to rule. It's allowed to govern. That's it. That is one party system. Next, two party system means that countries where only two main parties contest elections are called the two party system. Now see this, you cannot write that any two parties will rule, or two or more parties. No. When I say two party system, so that time only and only the major two parties are only going to contest elections. That's it. Only they will be in the elections, and they will be called as the two party system. Next, write the examples. For example, China. Only the Communist Party is allowed to rule, so it's a one party system. Similarly, the United States of America, USA, and UK, they are example of two party system. So one definition we wrote, one example we wrote, 2 marks we have got. Okay. Now, next question. State the role of the Reserve Bank of India. What is Reserve Bank of India? RBI. Right? Now, in India, the Reserve Bank of India issues the currency notes on behalf of the central government. Currency note means are rupees. Rupees, the notes which we get, 10 rupee, 50 rupee, then 1000 rupee, not 2000, sorry, 2000 rupee. Those are the currency notes. Where do we get it? Is it printed in stationaries? No. It is a special kind of print thing where it is printed in the RBI only, and they issue it on behalf of the central government. Along with that, the Reserve Bank of India supervises the functioning of formal sources of loan. They even look after about what are the functioning, what is the status or progress of the loans which are being taken. After that, RBI even monitors the banks in actually maintaining the cash balance. Whether now RBI, do they go and donate the money in people? No. Where do they give it? They give it in the banks. So when they give it in the banks, so what happens, they look after that whether the cash balance is there or it's not there. After that, RBI also sees that the banks give loans not just to profit making businesses but also to traders and farmers, cultivators, everything. Because many times it's like that also, that the banks will give only to loans to those people where they can see okay profit will be given, but it's not allowed. RBI even has said that you have to give the loan to everyone, like not everyone and anyone, I will say everyone, meaning is that whoever is capable of repaying it back, that people, whether it's a small cultivator, it's a farmer, if he can give it back on time with interest, then you have to give it. So these are the rules of the Reserve Bank of India. Now, students, in the fifth question, we have a table, and based on the table, we have two questions. So, this is a table, total production of steel in India. The years are given and the production is given. Now, let's see the question. Compare 2015 to 16 and 2019 to 20 data and give any one reason for the reduction of production of steel in 2019 to 20. Now, here you see 2015-16, it was what? 106 tons, 106 million tons, sorry, whereas in 1920 it became 102 tons. Now it decreased. Why did it decrease? So you just have to write here any one reason. Here it is three reasons is mentioned over here, you can use any one, okay, because it's a 2 mark. Here you will get 1 mark, here you will get 1 mark, so just write any one reason. So maybe it can be limited availability of coal. That time it was 2015-16, like the starting stages we can say. So that time coal availability was more, so that's why more of steel was produced. And after that, lower productivity of labor. Maybe in 2019-20 labor facilities, manpower wasn't proper, or there could be irregular supply of energy as well. Energy wouldn't be provided easily for the entire process of steel making. So these can be the various reasons for the reduction. Next question is, why is the production and consumption of steel considered as an index of country's development? Index of country's development means important factor. I'm just explaining in simple word. Index of the country's development, important factor. Why is it? Why steel making production is very important factor? Because steel products are used as raw materials in different, like we, you might have studied in 8th standard as well. Steel industry is known as what? It is known as the backbone industry, correct? It's the backbone of all industries. Why? Because it's used in every industry. Steel products are used as a raw material, even it is required for export, even it's exported, and it even provides machinery for countries growth. Machines in every place. Now you see machines are everywhere. Laptop, your machines for textile, agriculture, everything are made of what? It's made up of steel itself. So that's why steel is a very important factor. It's the index of country's development. Next question is, how do self-help groups, self-help groups help borrowers to overcome the problem of lack of collateral? Explain. Now, how will we explain this question? Now, we have to explain here that the SHGs, self-help groups, how they help the borrower so that they can overcome the problem of collateral. Now, people can get timely loans for a variety of purposes at a reasonable interest rate. Now, the people, they should get timely loans whenever needed, and also at a proper interest rate. It's not like for some it will be very high, for some it will be very low. It should be at a proper and reasonable rate. After that, the self-help groups are regular in their savings, which can be used as a monetary help. Now they are very regular at the self-help group. They're self-help, so they do savings from whatever they earn. So that acts as a monetary help to us. After that, the members can take small loans without collateral to meet their needs. So for meeting their needs, they can even take small loans and no need of any collateral. So no need of collateral, they can take small loans as well. And due to the timely repayment, banks also lend loans to SHGs. So now when we talk about SHGs, so they are very punctual in giving back their loan, repaying the loans. Correct? In repaying the loans, they are very punctual. So that's why the banks even give them, like, okay, we know, right, we are going to get it properly on time with the interest, so no problem. So this is the answer. Last question of section A is, why do most of the rural households still remain dependent on the informal sources of credit? Now we have to write that in rural areas, in villages, why do they still depend on the informal sources of credit? First thing, limited availability of banks in rural areas. Now, in rural areas, there are very less number of banks. It's not like every corner, every street you will get it. No, like in urban areas and cities, we have mostly everywhere we get a bank. But in rural areas, it's not like that. People in rural areas even face problem with regard to documentation. Now for bank, you can't simply go to bank, make an account and come back, no, by giving a name, Aadhaar card or something. No, there are very proper documents which are required to open a bank account, right? You have to even show it when you want to deposit or withdraw cash, right? So documentation becomes another difficulty for those villagers. Now, absence of collateral. Again, collateral absence is there, which is one of the most major reason why the poor people are avoided from getting bank loans. Bank loans are not given to poor. Why? Because of the absence of collateral. Collateral absence is there, due to which poor suffer. Rural people get easy loans from their richer households through the informal way. Now, banks are not there, documentation problem is there, collateral is not there. So, what have to do? They will go to some richer households, and from them they will take some loans from informal ways, right? Like they can go to some very, like, how can I explain? Like they'll go to a farmer who is very rich. Doesn't do farmers have servants and etc. So they will take loans, then they will take high interest, this that, in informal ways it's taken. So here we have completed with the two marker question, and now we're moving to section B. Three questions, 3 marks each, short answers. So our first question is, tribal peasants interpreted the message of Mahatma Gandhi and the idea of Swaraj in another way and participated in the non cooperation movement differently. Justify the statement. Now, students, remember, if you all know, in nationalism in India, what happened is, when Gandhiji had announced a non-cooperation movement, and we have to get our Swaraj, with non-cooperation movement we are going to start. But many people had taken the way of violence. Correct? Violence was followed, right? Violence, the people had taken the way of violence as well. But the Gandhiji meant ahimsa, like no fighting, nothing, we have to peacefully do our protest. But many people interpreted in the wrong way and started to violence. So how will we frame our answer? The spread of militant guerrilla movement in Gadam hills of Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, people started. So these are the reason. Before that, you should even mention that Mahatma Gandhi's idea for Swaraj in the non-cooperation movement was to do silent protest, ahimsa, but people interpreted it by violence. Some people, tribal peasants, okay, as mentioned, the tribal interpreted as violence. So the militant guerrilla movements were in the Gadam hills of Andhra Pradesh. After that, they were against the colonial policies. Colonial means British policies. The British policies which are there, they were against it. Their livelihood was affected and their traditional rights were denied. Their livelihood, how they're living, what works are they doing, that was denied. Okay, those were denied, and even the rights were affected. After that, their leader, Alluri Sitaram Raju, Important names are important, you should remember. Aluri Sitaram Raju. He was inspired by the non-cooperation movement and persuaded people to wear khadi and give up drinking. So what did he say? That you all should start wearing khadi, not foreign clothes, and even you should give up drinking. He wanted liberation by the use of force. So, liberation, like what is the meaning of liberation here? Freedom. He wanted freedom by using force. Now, the rebellions which were there, they attacked the police station and carried the guerrilla warfare by achieving Swaraj. To achieve Swaraj, the rebels had attacked the police stations, and you very well know where it was done, in Chori Chora. Correct? In Chori Chora incident, what happened? The non-cooperation movement was called off. Chori Chora. Okay. Now, next eighth question. Oh, okay. I get. Okay, sorry, students. The sixth question which was there, no, that was also a part of section B itself. Okay, it's not section, it's section B itself. So this is the second question of section B, and this is the last one. Okay, examine the role of political parties in democratic country. Now, what we have to write here is that political parties. What is their role in the democratic country? In country where democracy is followed, what is the role of them? So, first thing, parties form and run the government. Parties, they stand in election. Whoever is the majority forms and run the government. They play a decisive role in making policies for the country. What they have to do, they don't have to just sit. They make policies for the welfare of the country. Very important point, for the welfare of the country. For the welfare of the country, they have to take steps and even make different policies. They recruit leaders and train them. Recruit means they search for leaders, they hire leaders and then train them. After that, the parties that lose the election, they make the opposition party. Right? This is very common. Opposition party means the minor votes, who got the less votes, or who lose the election, they make the opposition party. And parties shape public opinion. Parties have to shape public opinion. Why? Because whatever public is trying to tell them, they have to do that only. They cannot do opposite or something else. They have to do those things which people are facing, right? So, parties provide the common man access to government machinery and welfare schemes. Now, parties, even they have to provide the common man, like everyone, not only rich or wealthy people, everyone, they have to give the access to government machinery. Means government access, like Supreme Court, then High Court, District Court, and even the welfare schemes which were launched for poverty declination and everything. So those part schemes, machinery should be given access for everyone. That also parties have to follow. So here are your 3 marker questions. Now, next is our section C, where I guess we have 2 questions of 5 marks each. Yeah. So, first question is, democracy's ability to generate its own support is itself an outcome that cannot be ignored. Support the statement with examples. Now, what we have here is that democracy's ability to generate its own support. Okay, the democracy is supported by the people, right? It's supported by the people. Why? Because that you have to explain over a 5 marker question. Very important. You have to explain everything. Explain everything about democracy, whatever you have learned till date in your civics. Explain everything. So, democracy ensures that the decision making will be based on norms and procedures. Whatever decisions are being made, are being implemented, they should be based on the various norms and procedures. Every citizen has the right and means to examine the process of decision making. All the citizens have the right that they can examine whether the decisions are correct or not, because the democratic parties are for the people, by the people, of the people. Right? You have studied this in your previous standards. Democratic governments are accountable, legitimate, and transparent. Accountable, legitimate, transparent. What are their meanings now? So, accountable, here we mean that who will do the justification, or who is responsible, right? Who is responsible for the work and different things to be done, that is accountable. So democratic governments are responsible and accountable. Next one is legitimate. Legitimate means that it is legal, right? It's elect, whatever work they're doing is legal work, and according to the legal laws they are doing. And transparent means that it is totally transparent. They are not supposed to hide anything from the citizens. They are to be transparent. So remember, very important point, what are the three things of democratic government? They are accountable, legitimate, and transparent. Even people have the right to choose their rulers very easy with the help of elections. People are free to choose their own leaders. Democracy gives its citizens the right to information about the government and its functioning. Democracy is such a form of government where the citizens have wholehearted rights to get the information about the government, what are they doing, what will they do, etc. Next is, a democratic government is the people's own government and it is run by them. Again, the same thing. Democratic government is for the people, by the people, of the people. Correct? For the people means they are democratic government is there for them so that they can do any task they want to. By the people means they are elected by the people, so they have to do those tasks where the people are facing problem. And of the people means they are with the people, they are of the people, right? So democratic government is this. So this entire explanation of various grades is required. Now, we have a or also in this question. So the second one is, there is an overwhelming support for the idea of democracy in South Asia. Support the statement with example. Now they are telling that in South Asia there is a very much high support given to democracy. Why? Now, South Asian countries are represented with a great diversity. There is a very huge diversity in South Asian countries, and it has various different cultural, economical, political, social interaction, and everything is diverse there. And there is a common cultural base, but there is linguistic and religious differences as well. The culture would be same, but there are various linguistic, communicational, religious, all these changes are there in the population. That's why it's very diverse. What is it? It's very diverse. It is because of this main reason people in South Asian countries want the government to be democratic, right? So they are demanding that, as we are such a big place and country, South Asian countries are such big, so we want that, as we are so diverse, we want democracy only in the form of government. Now democratic government is people's own government, as I said, for the people, by the people, of the people. So countries from the South Asian countries are demanding for their democratic rights as well, the fundamental rights which democracy gets. Countries want to elect their representatives by themselves. They want that elections should be held to choose their own leader. Democracy provides dignity and freedom. Whoever, wherever, like in India, we are democratic, so we have all the rights and freedom also. Democracy accommodates social diversity. When there is democracy, there is social diversity along with it. And democracy is based on the idea of discussion and negotiation. Now, democracy, we don't go and simply give a vote to anyone and come. No, whom we think is suitable, can control the country and everything, to them only we discuss and give the votes, right? So, here in democratic government, discussion and negotiations are done. And then you can give few examples of countries like India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. All of these are the democratic countries. Next question is, examine the role of information technology, IT industries in stimulating the process of globalization. How is IT helping us in globalization? Now, technology has been changing rapidly. We know right now also technology, it's very rapidly changing, right? In every countries, countries are developing with the help of technology itself. Telecommunication facilities like for telegraph, telephone, including mobile phones, fax, all of these are used for contact and access information. Previously, what used to be letters, then came landline. Now we have touch screen smartphones we have, right? So technology is increasing. We are having telecommunication facilities so that we can easily access and contact to each other. Helps to communicate from remote areas, even where the people are far away from each other. Important point, that when they are far from each other, still we can communicate easily. Development of satellite communication devices. With the help of satellites, we can do easy calling, international calling, GPS, etc. can be done with the help of satellite. Computers have now entered almost every field of activities. Now compare, right now during the pandemic time, online classes, exams, everything were done on computer itself, so they are also a part of IT itself. One can obtain and share information through internet. Now here also, like we are on YouTube, so yes, it's on internet itself. We have internet, so we can access it, we can share, get, we can do everything if we have internet. Even emails and voicemails, WhatsApps, everything is easily available across the world with a negligible cost. Like WhatsApp, YouTube, these are like free things, right? Many things are like paid also, but like they are very minimum cost. And it has, even IT industry have played a major role in spreading out production of services across the country. Now IT industry is there in every places, so that whole globe can use it. So these are the things where the information technology helps in the globalization. It helps in the globalization. All right, so let's move towards an or question, then we'll move towards case study. So, assess the impact of globalization of India on its and on India and its people. Now we have to write the impact of globalization. What's the impact? What are the changes happened with the globalization of India? Now, globalization has resulted in more choices for the consumers. Now, right now, if you want to go and take a phone, there are various options. There you have Samsung, you have Oppo, you have OnePlus, you have iPhone. So many options you have, right? So when there is globalization, options, choices also increase. These have improved the standard of living of people. MNCs. Who are MNCs now? So MNCs are nothing but are multinational corporation. What are they? Multinational corporation. So, multinational corporations, MNCs, they have increased their investments in industries like cell phones, automobiles, soft drinks, electronics, then gadgets, everything. They have increased their investments in them. Why? Because we know that everyone in this world, almost everyone have smartphones, fridges, TVs, like that is becoming, that became a basic necessity, right? So that's why they're investing in more. Why? Because these corporations will get more profit from them. Even new jobs have been created. When globalization is there, more choices are to be given, so new jobs are also to be given, so that many people can come, join, and do the work more faster. Some local companies that supply raw materials to MNCs have also benefited. The local companies, like who provide the supply, the raw materials to these multinational corporations, they are also benefited, because the more the work in these MNCs, the more raw materials they will take, and more profit to the local companies also. Globalization has even enabled some large Indian companies like Tata Motors, Infosys to emerge as multinational companies and become MNCs. Right? No, wait. Multinational companies to multinational corporations. Important thing. From multinational companies, Tata Motors, Infosys, from multinational companies, they are being converted to multinational corporations due to globalization. Companies providing services have also benefited by globalization. Who provide online services like calling, email, telecommunication, everything, they are also benefited right now. And it has led to the flexibility of labor laws, especially the special economic zones, where the poverty is there, this and that. So the labor laws are also becoming flexible due to globalization only. And the last point is the local producers, they face stiff competition from big companies. Now the local producers, that is a bit thing, that a disadvantage, that they are facing still competition from big companies, right? So this was all about our section C. Section C. Now we are moving to section D, case study. So there are two case studies, 4 marks each. So this is our first case study. I'll quickly read it up. Okay, so what you can do is, you can, I'm just reading, if you can pause it, read it, or you can wait and you can directly come towards the questions. Now the context is, it is said of passive resistance that it is the weapon of the weak, but the power which is the subject of this article can be used only by the strong. This power is not passive resistance. Indeed, it calls for intense activity. The movement in South Africa was not passive but active. Satyagraha is not physical force. A satyagrahi does not inflict pain on the adversary. He does not seek his destruction. In the use of satyagraha, there is no ill will whatever. Satyagraha is pure soul force. Truth is very substance of the soul. That is why this force is called Satyagraha. The soul is informed with knowledge. In it burns the flame of love. Non-violence is the supreme dharma. It is certain that India cannot rival Britain or Europe in force of arms. The British worship the war god, and they can all of them become, as they are becoming barriers of arms. The hundreds of millions in India can never carry arms. They have made the religion of non-violence of their own. Now what's happening in this context is, we are getting to know about Satyagraha. What is Satyagraha? Well, like in India, people used to follow Satyagraha, and for Gandhiji, Satyagraha, non-violence, was the supreme dharma. As well as in Europe, British, they worship the war god, means they follow war, arms and everything, destruction. But Indians, they follow their own religion of non-violence. Now, based on this, we have questions. So, our question number one is, why did Gandhiji consider non-violence as supreme dharma? Now, why did Gandhiji consider that non-violence, ahimsa, is supreme dharma? Now, Gandhiji adopted non-violence as a philosophy and an ideal way of life. He believed that not harming anyone was the supreme dharma. According to him, philosophy of non-violence is not a weapon of the weak. It is a weapon which can be tried by all. Now, why is Gandhiji considering non-violence as supreme dharma in this context? Because he's trying to tell us that it people say that what is non-violence? No one is violating, nothing is there. It is a weak weapon because everyone can do it, but it's not like that. It's not a weak weapon. It's just a weapon which is used so that there is no harm. Destruction is avoided with non-violence. That is what Gandhiji had followed. There shouldn't be, if there is a war or if you want Swaraj, so no need for fighting, killing, destruction. No, we will silently, peacefully do it. Second question, part 2. How was Gandhian Satyagraha taken by the people who believed in his philosophy? Now we are telling the Gandhian Satyagraha, why taken by the people who believed in his philosophy. How was it taken? Now, people of India quickly adapted to the Gandhian Satyagraha during freedom struggle. Now, during freedom struggle, during the nationalist movements, people had adopted to the satyagraha like Kheda Satyagraha, Ahmedabad Satyagraha, then Champaran movement, non-cooperation movement, Quit India movement. All of these satyagrahas were the Gandhian satyagrahas, correct? And they made the religion of non-violence, non-violence, ahimsa, right? Satyagraha. This was considered the supreme dharma, and it was made as a new religion. And various movements like non-cooperation, civil disobedience, then Quit India movement, many movements were there. They saw huge support from Gandhiji's followers, right? People said that Gandhi Raj is there, Gandhi Raja, like Assamese songs were converted from Lord Krishna. It was converted to Gandhi Raja, right? And Gandhi Raj would soon prevail. Everything, these things were said during that time. And a satyagrahi does not inflict pain on that adversary. That means that he does not seek his destruction in the use of satyagraha. There is no ill or will. This means that the satyagrahi who is doing the satyagraha is following satyagraha. That is a satyagrahi. It does not inflict any pain on the adversary. There is no pain, harm to anyone. Right? There is no destruction. Everything is done peacefully. Now, the last question of this case study: why was Gandhian Satyagraha considered as a novel way to resist injustice? We have to explain the Gandhian Satyagraha. Why was it considered a very good novel way to resist injustice? The injustice which was done by the British on Indians. So, the answer to this question is Gandhian Satyagraha was based on the power of truth and non-violence. Gandhian Satyagraha was based on just main principles of ahimsa, peacefulness, truth, non-violence, right? And this could be done by appealing to the conscience of the oppressor. So, the how could we do it? We can appeal the conscience of the oppressor, right? Who can resist the injustice. People, including the oppressors also, they had to be persuaded to see the truth instead of being forced to accept the truth through the use of violence. Now, what is the main thing is that all the people who were suffering, they shouldn't accept the truth via violence. They should see the truth, and instead of being forced to accept the truth, through non-violence. So they should accept the truth through non-violence, not through violence. Similarly, we have one more case study, so let's quickly do it. Then we have again three questions and map work. So here, ever since humans appeared on the earth, they have used different means of communication. But the pace of change has been rapid in modern times. Long distance communication is far easier without physical movement of the communicator or receiver. Personal communication and mass communication, including television, radio, press, films, etc., are the major means of communication in the country. The Indian Postal Network is the largest in the world. It handles parcels as well as personal written communications. Cards and envelopes are considered first class mail and are airlifted between stations covering both land and air. The second class mail includes book packets, registered newspapers, and periodicals. They are carried by surface mail, covering land and water transport to facilitate quick delivery of mails in large towns and cities. Six mail channels have been introduced recently. They are called Rajdhani Channel, Metro Channel, Green Channel, Business Channel, Bulk Milk Channel, and Periodical Channel. Now here again, that just we are talking about globalization. How did communication overcome and everything, right? And what are the mail channels, say first class mail, second class mail, right? So let's see the question. Examine the role of Indian Postal Network. The Indian Postal Network, we have to write the rules. What is the things which are done in the Indian Postal Network? Now, it has helped the country to engage in communication and brought out social economical development. Now, when I talk about Indian Postal Network, in this we the country is engaging in communication and social economic development is given by these postal networks. It provides various facilities like speed post, business post, register post, ordinary post, like whatever you want. as your choice. For example, if a business people they have to transfer their documents, they will use business post. If I want to give a post of some letter or something urgently, so I'll use speed post. So there are various facilities given by the postal network in India. Next is differentiate between mass and personal communication. Mass, personal, two main words, mass and personal communication. When I say mass communication, it refers to a communication from one to many or from many to one through a definite medium. Now, when I say mass communication, this means that it is like some speeches or some novels, some books, right? One, it is given from one to many, or even many people can give it to one also. How? Let me give an example. One to many. How can it be one to many? Like political leaders giving a speech to people. That is one to many. That's a mass communication. Or the vice versa, many people have complaints and they are telling to the governing body. So that is one to many or many to one. That is mass communication. It can occur through radios, TV, newspapers, films, books. Like they have some main motto, right, to do. So newspapers, radios, these are very important sources of mass communication. But when I say personal, personal is nothing in public. It's just our. I'm talking to my friend. I'm talking from one person to another. I'm talking with my relatives, with my brother, sister. The emailing, that is like personal. We are doing with ourselves. But mass is publicly. Okay. Last question of the case studies. Analyze the significance of communication for a nation. Why is communication important in any place? First thing, it is a source of entertainment and knowledge. With the help of communication, we can share knowledge, entertainment also. Like communication, we're not just referring to calling, hello, hi, bye, not that way. Communication means television also, which provides us some like knowledge, so what's happening, news, everything. So knowledge, entertainment is given to us, right? Even it supports manufacturing industries and trades. Manufacturing industries and trades are supported by communication. It helps people to connect with their loved one and brings unity in the nation. When communication takes place, people who are far away from each other, far can talk easily. We can talk easily, connect with our family members very easily, who are far living, who are not living very near to us. And it is a great medium for generating awareness on mass scale. Like if we take about newspapers, correct? Newspaper, then even radios, correct? What is the use of them? For entertaining? No. For spreading awareness, telling what's happening in the day-to-day life, the current affairs. That is the mass scale where awareness. So these are the important things for communication. Now students, last section, section E, map based question. So let's quickly do the map based. Now first thing, here we have a political map of India, and this is A. This place A is marked, and we even have a hint. We have to write what is this place. So the place where non-cooperation movement was called off due to violence. Which was that place? It was Chauri Chaura, correct? Chauri Chaura in Uttar Pradesh, where the people are attacked at the police station, and many were injured and died as well. So in Chauri Chaura, non-cooperation movement was called off due to the non-violence. So this place A is Chauri Chaura. Next is we have to mark now. Okay. Now previously what was done, that the marking was already given. We just had to say that which place is where. Now here in this case we have to tell that where is the place. First one is Namrup thermal plant. Now nothing to explain. I'll directly tell you the marking. First one, Namrup. Namrup thermal plant is here. It's located here, correct? This is Namrup. I'm sorry, uh, Namrup. Yes, Namrup. After that, or Noida Software Technology Park. You can choose Namrup or Noida, anyone. So I'll give answers for both. So Namrup is here. Then Noida. No, Noida Software Technology. It will be in Delhi. It is over here. This is Noida. I don't have space, I'm just writing Noida. Software Technology Park, just Noida I'm writing. And the second one is Raja Sansi International Airport, Sri Guru Ram Das Ji International Airport. Where is that? It is near to Noida, over here. Where is it? Wait a second. Yeah, here. This is Raja Sansi. Raja Sansi International Airport is here. So, Namrup Thermal Plant, then Noida Software Technology Park, and Raja Sansi International Airport. I've given you the markings. And with this, we have completed with the sample paper of uh, grade 10 CBSE in one video itself. So, students, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any queries or doubts, you can put in the comment section below. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.